The Nürburgring Nordschleife is one of the most formidable racetracks in the whole world. 12.9 miles of twisty tarmac through the German countryside. Famously referred to as the Green Hell by Jackie Stewart. A track that is so intimidatingly long that you just feel so afraid to just even attempt to learn it. In this video, I'm going to help you to learn and understand the Nürburgring Nordschleife so you can get familiar with the track, start to enjoy driving the track and earn over 6 million credits doing the circuit experience. Once you have unlocked the Nürburgring, you can go down to circuit experience. You've got two choices for circuit experience. You've got the Grand Prix track, that should be a pretty easy circuit experience, and then you have the Nordschleife in the BMW M6. A couple of really important tips which will change the way you consider this circuit experience. First of all, it's flipping hard, okay? Don't think you're going to get this done in a couple of laps. Set yourself aside a couple of hours to get yourself dialed in, get yourself in the right frame of mind, and understand that it's going to be a challenge to do this. Unless you're super fast and you already know the Nordschleife, then you're going to find this a challenge. If you are super fast and already know the Nordschleife, I'm not sure why you're watching this video. This is to get people from nothing to being competent at the Nordschleife. Once you have that competence, then you can work on individual corners to get yourself faster. The whole goal of this video is to really just help you process the lap, remembering the full 12.9 miles of the Nürburgring Nordschleife is the biggest hurdle with completing this challenge. I would highly recommend going through all of the sectors one by one to get yourself dialed into each sector. The difficulty comes when you need to string all of these sectors together, all 11 sectors for a 6 minutes 30-ish second lap time. There are many guides out there which go through the minute details of each braking point for each corner, but quite honestly guys, you are not going to remember all of that. At the Nordschleife there are key points of the track which allow you to switch your brain to remember different sections of the track. I'm going to run you through a slow lap now. I would highly recommend doing a few slow touring laps of the full course without pushing too hard to get yourself familiar with which each section rolls into which one. The first section in this track you will get very familiar with because of the amount of times you will retry. You will be an absolute expert at sector 1 and probably sector 2, so I'm not going to talk too much about this, but basically what I would suggest is that during the first sector you push really hard. There is not much to throw away if you make a mistake during this first section of the track. Generally this BMW M6 is a little bit loose on power in first gear and second gear, and it's just about okay in third gear. So if you are in third gear, you have got the confidence to get on the gas. You will learn all of the traits of the way the car drives in the sector circuit experiences. So we're about to exit sector 1 now, where we will just come out here and we will just enter Flugplatz. So we go over the bridge over the road, and this is where you transport your brain into thinking this corner ahead now, it is a lift, throw in and power down. So once you're through this corner you can get back on the gas and it's flat for a considerable amount of time. I'm going to call this the motorway section. In your brain, if you just as you trigger over that Flugplatz, think about this as the motorway and you are good until the next crest and the lift for the left-hander. So traveling down here you can reset your expectations, get yourself dialed in for the next section of the track. Over the crest, now this corner ahead is just a lift. You want to keep yourself to the inside to give you a straight braking line. At the end of the curb is where you want to start braking, and then you want to go all the way down to second gear. This is a reasonably tight corner, and once you exit this corner you can get back on the gas, and again it's a really fast section of the track down into Foxhole. You know you can be completely flat through this section of the track until you hit the compression and have the slight turn to the left. The car will load up during this left hand turn, so don't oversteer during this bit. Once you're through the compression you get yourself set up for the twiddly section, downshift, turn in, and then get on the brakes down to, I think, fourth or third gear through here. Each of these corners starts to tighten up. This is down now into a more tighter section of the track. Switch your brain up to be into this next segment. It's a good place to start. On the corner exit, you're going to be flat for a good couple of corners. There will be a corner where you brake and lift. I know I can be flat out until I see some discoloration of the barriers on the right hand side here. This is where I want to lift, brake a little bit, downshift, and then float into this corner here, pushing the car through the middle of the corner. And then I'm looking for the graffiti on the floor right here. TAF is where I want to get on the brakes. This next corner is a reasonably tight corner, and the car wants to over rotate on this corner, so we're switching up now into this section of the track now, flowing through here, and then on the exit of this corner it's now into a slow second gear tight corner. On the exit of this corner, it's into a flat-ish chicane. You can lift for a bit of confidence, but you can get through this chicane flat. And then on the exit of the chicane, it's into a triple right-hander. So it's apex, apex, and then get on the gas. You don't need to hit the third apex. Now, exiting this corner here, this is a very interesting one. That there's two dog legs at the Nordschleife, and I always used to get confused between each of them. The first dog leg you need to brake for, the second dog leg you do not need to brake for. And the way I visually reference that is that the ones with the cars in the distance, that is the one you do need to brake for. So I see that visual reference, I think cars, I think danger, and I need to get some braking done in a straight line before I get into this corner here, into the corner, and then brake again a lot more. This is the slowest corner on the track. Now exiting this section of the track here on the power, exiting here again, I've got another visual reference a long way in the corner. That is the dog leg. Now I refer to this one as Grandma's house. I have no idea why I call it that. I just see a house in the distance, I think Grandma's house, safe, and I know I can go through this dog leg absolutely flat out. There is no problem at all through this corner flat out, and then I get on the brakes just before the start of the curb for the next section of the track here. Now flowing through all of these sections, you will learn these from the individual sections circuit experiences. After that sequence of corners, I call this section of the track surprise, because there is another part of the track where it opens up and you're flat out for a very long period of time. On this section of the track, it feels like it's opened up to the flat out bit, but it's not just yet. So I call this one surprise, and I make a mental note that it's after this left-hander, I need to get on the brakes about halfway. It's kind of just before that sign, just before that Yokohama sign. We get on the brakes, and then we get down to third gear, and then we go through this corner, and you just kind of keep it held in tight. On corner exit, third gear. When I see the GT sign on the floor, I think GT, go time. This is where I can be completely flat out for a significant length of time. All we're looking to do is to guide the car through these series of corners as efficiently as possible. It is a little bit uphill, so the car will feel a little bit slower, but you can be flat for a large portion of this here. Avoid the curbs, the car can get a little bit unsettled, and then we're going to come to a point of the track where it transitions, and what we're looking for is the marshals on the inside of the corner here. You see the orange jacket marshals, the 132 board. Now we want to be over at the right hand side of the track, halfway along this entry curbing. We're just going to get on the brakes a little bit, down one gear, and flow through here. It's a double apex corner. Don't run too wide, don't push the car too hard in that area. We can get back on the gas again over to the left hand side, and we're going to go through another high speed corner. Do not clip this curb, little lift and power through here. Now we're going to get into the carousel section. Braking at the start of the curb, it's quite a slow corner this one, so brake all the way down to second gear and then through here. This is where you'll get to a key point of the track, the carousel section. You'll be well practiced at the carousel section from the sector circuit experiences, and the carousel represents the start of sector 8 and 9. So through the carousel, cautious on corner exit, and here we go. If you are getting to this point of the track regularly and you feel like you get lost after this point, that happened to me nearly all the time, go back and repeat sector 8 and 9 from the sector circuit experience. This is incredibly valuable to do this, because if you can get to here reasonably without problems, sector 8 and 9 are the ones where you can make or lose so much time. So coming through here, it's flat for the first 2 corners here, and then on the floor, flat for the little kink. On the floor here you can see it, the graffiti prum across the road there. Get on the brakes, downshift into 4th gear, and then you want to take this first part of the corner. Avoid the curbs at this section of the track, guys. The curbs are very, very nasty. And then you want to be a little bit slower for the other corner here. Run a little bit on the curb on the exit, you can do that, and then down to 3rd gear for this longer right-hander. Then on the gas, you can be back on the power for a good point of this section here. These corners here, the kind of 4th gear kind of corners, flow through here. Repeat sectors 8 and 9. I highly recommend doing that. You'll get yourself dialed in for these 2 sections of the track, and these 2 sections of the track is where it means the most. You've invested so much time in the lap already. Knowing these 2 sectors is going to pay you dividends. There's 2 corners here. A lot of them tighten up on corner exits, so just think to your mind, careful on the corner exits, and then through this corner here. Once we're through this corner, we've got another kind of 3rd gear tightening corner, and then we're approaching YouTube corner. This corner does tighten up on exit. It's a 3rd gear corner, so be careful on exit. And this is where you would finish sector 8. After YouTube corner, mental note to yourself that the next corner is tighter than you expect. You have to scrub off a good chunk of speed here. You can still stay in 3rd gear, but scrub off a bunch of speed, because so many times I've gone straight on at this point here, carried too much speed in, ruined a lap. It's a long time investment to put into the lap, and you can ruin it straight away. But after this corner here, you can be flat for a significant amount of time. Now I'm going to call this section bravery. As soon as you exit that corner, think to yourself, be brave, navigate at high speed, avoiding curbs until you hit the jump, and then here comes the jump ahead here. Just scrub a little bit of speed before the jump, let the car settle, scrub a bit more speed again, and carry 3rd gear through this corner. It's kind of a double right-hander. Once you've exited the double right-hander, you can hit bravery again. You're going to be flat for quite a significant portion of this, but the car will get light, especially over this big dip here. The car will want to squirm and slide around. You will know this from repeating sector 9 of the circuit experience. Just do what you already know you need to do. Flat through here, avoiding curbs. This is what you need to do. Now I keep flat until I start to see the end of the curb, the marshal points arrive. Then I start to think about scrubbing a little bit of speed and then tipping into this high speed right-hander, getting ready to slow down quite quickly for this slower speed 3rd gear left-hander, which brings you into mini carousel. Into mini carousel now, it's another 3rd gear, tip it in, be cautious on corner exit. As you exit the carousel, the car will go light, and then this is the final corner of the track. I would recommend practicing this. Well, it's not the final corner, it's the final corner before the Dottinger Straight. I would come around in 4th gear here. It's a multi-apex corner. You want to make sure you get good speed for corner exit, so focus on the exit rather than the corner entry, and then down the Dottingerhoe straight flat out. No, I'm way off the pace obviously because I've been driving slowly and talking about it, but absolutely flat out down here. You will have practiced the final sector, you will have got gold on the final sector before, you know exactly what you need to do. So this is the point of the lap where you want to take a deep breath and just focus on executing a safe last chicane. Flat out through here, flat out through the first part of the chicane, and then looking for the braking point. Is pretty much the apex of the corner, and then through here, second gear, careful on corner exits, don't spin it, crash it now, and then get yourself lined up and across the line. And hopefully guys, that is going to get yourself dialed in for a lap of the Nürburgring Nordschleife. I want you to remember a couple of things that's important for doing the full lap. Even if you make a small mistake and you haven't invalidated your lap, continue your lap, drive as far as you can. Ideally, you want to be getting some finished laps, because honestly guys, the finishing the lap is almost harder than doing it in the time. If you've got gold through each of the sectors, you know you have it in you to do the full lap. There is a little bit more margin for speed in the full lap. I think my best time so far is a 6:25. The gold time is 6:37. So I'm 11 seconds inside, and that had some errors on my best lap. If you have sections of the track, especially sector 8 and sector 9, again, I'm going to bang this drum a lot. Go and repeat those sectors. Practice them in the single sector circuit experience. Also, when you are driving your lap, feel free to take some of the sectors which you don't know quite so well a little bit more cautiously. It's much better to lose a second or two during these sectors which you don't quite know so well, and get your lap finished. By the time you've finished trying this a bunch of times, you will know sector 1, 2, possibly 3 like the back of your hand. You can push sector 1 and 2 really quick. Try and bag a bunch of time early on in the lap, which gives you a bit of a buffer later on when you get to a sector which you don't quite know so well. A really important tip that I would highly recommend is to make sure that you head over to settings, go down to ghost settings. I would choose to have personal best ghost set to off. I would have demonstration ghost set to on. Reset ghost position set to on. That means that at every sector of the track, the ghost is reset back to your original starting position, so you can follow that ghost as close as you can. And then you have the ghost offset in seconds. This is the number of seconds the ghost starts in front of you. For me personally, I like to play between 0.2 and 0.4, depending if I want to be right on the ghost tail to flow through really quickly, especially if the ghost is faster than me. It keeps them within visual range. But when I want to push really quickly, extend the ghost further ahead, and you can almost watch what they do. Just watch for when the ghost brake lights come on. That will give you a further visual reference as to when you want to be getting on the brakes, or if you're getting to a point of the track that you may have forgot about, there is a point where you need to brake. And for each of the sections, you can actually watch the demonstration. I would highly recommend watching the demonstration just to see, and you can see it from your own viewpoint that you like to play from. For example, if I played from chase cam, I could switch to chase cam, watch the demonstration ghost, and I can see where the ghost brakes, changes gear, what lines they take, and that will give me some extra information. Again, with this guys, it is more about the information and familiarity with the track rather than just generally being fast. Someone that knows the Nordschleife like the back of their hand but is maybe not quite so fast at driving will always be faster than the most talented driver in the world that just doesn't know the track. I've talked you through a slow lap. I'm going to try and talk you through while I'm driving a fast lap, which hopefully could be a gold time. I could fail a bunch of times, but let's see how we get on. I'm going to try and talk you through the lap as we do it. So early on, we're going to brake quite early into turn 1 because turn 1 is critical to get the corner exit rather than the corner entry. And I'm going to squeeze the throttle on the corner exit here. Now through this section here, I can almost take this corner flat, but a little lift is a bit of a confidence lift. Now I am definitely losing a little bit of pace, braking in a straight line. and that's terrible. It's not easy. Okay, I'm going to try again. I'm probably going to try and talk less so you can see a full lap. That's a bit deep on the brakes, but we're going to try and run through the lap anyway, mistakes and all. I'm going to go through here and I'm trying to get this. No, just touch the. That was a big mistake. I've lost probably half a second, but I'm going to continue the lap anyway because it's important to get laps done where you actually start to drive the final sectors. We'll go over the curb there, bouncing these curbs. The first sector of the track, you can be more aggressive on the curb, and then over here now. So next in this corner here, not a great first sector for me. This is where you get the rest, the reset. You know it's the fast corner ahead now, so we are going to just brake downshift, throw it in, get on the gas as soon as we can, and we know it's flat out for a long period of time, as we discussed in the slow lap, just flat out until we hit that crest. Make sure we're good on gears, we're all good. Now over the crest, we're looking to keep to the right hand side. It's going to be a lift, turn in, and then brakes at the end of the curve, just before the end of the curve in fact. Second gear for here, short shift to third on the corner exit. Now we know it's flat out into the foxhole. Absolutely sending it through here. It's such a good feeling to drive this track. When you learn the track, when you know the track, you can really feel it through the compression. Now looking for a brake downshift, throw it in here, brake more, downshift through this sequence of corners. Looking to just keep flowing through here. Now exiting the corner here on the gas, looking for that colour in the arm code change on the right hand side, and looking ahead now. There we go, brake. Didn't think I needed downshift on the text on the floor. Couldn't really decide what gear to be in there. And then tight corner here, all the way down to second. Looking for third on corner exit. Not a bad exit. Almost flat through the chicane here now. Oh, bouncing that curb, dangerous. Double apex. And then here we go to the cars ahead. This is the danger. Brake ahead of the kink. And do all your braking for the final bit. Now exiting the corner. As we said before, we look ahead now. We see Grandma's house. We know this is flat. This is safe. All the way through here. Then braking at the end of the curb. Flowing through this section of the track. Now it's important, guys, I would actually start to name some of the sections your own personal names, which give you memory joggers. Now we're into surprise. This is where you may think it's flat, but you've still got a tight corner ahead now. Looking for that Yokohama board. Third gear for the corner. Looking for the GT sign on the floor. GT good to go. And then we're flat for a significant chunk of time through the forest. Flat out, here we go. Now I'm losing quite a bit of time compared to my personal best, but we're not interested in a personal best. All we're interested in is a goal time. That is the goal here, guys. Looking for the marshals now to let us know that is the corner we lift at. There are the marshals. Next one is the lift, brake, downshift. Flowing through here, carry the speed. Next one's a little lift. Don't clip the curb. Now looking to brake into the slower section of the track here now. A little bit deep on the brakes there, but we can still make it back. Braking into the carousel now. Don't pop over the top. Don't brake too late. Stay in the groove. Caution on the exit of the carousel. The car goes light over there. Now into sector 8 and 9. These are ones that I don't know that well. Now I know this is flat-ish. Brake at the text. Down one gear. Flow through here, tightens up on the next one, tightens up again, and then out this corner it's flat, and then little lift through the fourth gear sequence into a third gear compression corner, another third gear corner. This is the flowing section that it pays so much to learn it. Third gear into YouTube corner. Carry the speed in, not too much, not as much as that, too much really. Now this is the danger corner. After YouTube, it's danger. Make sure we screw up enough speed to stay over that curb there. Perfect. Corner exit. Flat now for a little bit. until we hit the jump. Third gear for the next series of corners. Once we're out of that third gear corner, it is flat. This is the bravery section. The car goes twisty light here, avoiding curbs, keeping brave through this section until we see the marshal box, and then we get on the brakes, flow through the first section faster, downshift to third gear 4. This corner here, a little bit of clip on the apex, not ideal. Into the second carousel, third gear through there on the corner exit, and then we go fourth gear through third gear. I think third gear, almost dropped it there. That's dangerous. This is the dangerous part of the track. The more familiar you can be with the last section of the track, the better it is. You've invested 5 minutes into this run already. There's no point trying to shortcut your way to getting a fast lap when you don't know the end of the track. It's really, really important. I've said it 1,000 times in this video. Get familiar with the final couple of sectors in this track, because it will just take the pressure off you when you get here and you know you're on for a gold time. Flat out through here. I know the first part of this chicane is flat out, and then braking at the apex into second gear for the first part of this chicane. Second gear through this whole section really. Second gear through the final corner, and exiting the lap and across the line. And we're going to go sub minutes. We're going to go sub 6 minutes 30, and that was, honestly guys, that was a scrappy lap. That's only 4 seconds off of my personal best lap. You saw how many little tiny errors I made during that lap. While I'm talking, I'm never as fast as I can be when I'm properly concentrating. If you have found this video useful, then make sure you smash that like button. Hopefully I've given you a great understanding and the first great step to learning and perfecting the Nürburgring Nordschleife. If you haven't already, make sure you're subscribed to the channel. I don't think many people that watch the videos are actually subscribed, so make sure you're subscribed. Ring that bell to be notified whenever I upload a new video. I've got a bunch of videos on my channel to help you get faster in Gran Turismo 7. And on screen right now is the best video you need to watch next. This is the fastest settings in Gran Turismo 7. I talk about ABS, traction control, controller assists, all of the things that will also have a significant effect on how fast you can be in Gran Turismo 7. Go and check out that video, and I'll catch you in the next one.